We're working on spinal rotation. Sarah May will join in a second. So we're working on some twist and some rotation so that we can move freely through our day. But we're also going to work on some hamstring and hip flexor mobility because last week we focused so heavily on our glutes. So let's stand up for a warm up and we'll get all our joints. I'm just trying to pin myself. There we go. We'll get all our joints going. You can hold on to a wall if you're feeling a bit unsteady, but if you want to start working on your balance and your stability as well, just take some soft knees and start with your hands on your hips. We're going to lift, so load into your right foot. Careful that your knee isn't collapsing in, and lift your left foot. We're going to start circling the ankle in one direction. And then circle the ankle in the other direction. Good. Now keep your leg at a level you can hold it at and start to circle the knee, trying not to move the thigh too much. And now circle it in the other way. I know this balance is getting testing. This is our last one. We're going to start circling the knee around. So we are literally drawing a circle with the knee in one direction, just in parallel. It doesn't have to go too far to the sides. And then start circling the knee the other way. I'm going to fall any second now. Step it down, find that parallel. Make sure that you're spreading across evenly the ball of the foot, pressing down through the heel, lifting your arch as you carefully lift that other foot up off the floor. And we start circling the ankle. You should feel a little butt-thigh connection on your standing leg waking up already. And going the other way. Oh, Rachel, your shot is framed perfectly. You should use this for splits next time. It's magic. And then circling the knee. Things I notice when I can see you all clearly. And then the other way. So we're trying to keep that thigh nice and still. And then drawing circles with the knee in one direction. Ah, this is my wonky side. And then circles the other way. I've got lots of clicking this morning. All right, we're going to take those feet out wider now. So you want to think about the inside edges of your feet on the outside edges of your hips. Take your hands onto your hips with some soft knees, tuck and tip. So I want to think about lifting the pubic bone and then lifting the tailbone. Lift, 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 lift. Good. Now let's send it side to side, lifting the hip into the rib. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 circles. Doing 5 in this direction. And then 5 in the other direction. Good. Now the ribs, they move in, keeping these soft knees. Try and keep your bottom and everything under the rib cage or under the waist nice and still. Press your rib cage forward. Pull it over to the side. All right, let's do forward and back first. Press your rib cage forward, suck it in. Press your rib cage forward, suck it in. So when we suck the rib cage in, the back ribs expand. Rib cage open, when the back contracts, rib cage contracted, back expanding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now let's keeping the bottom edges. Words are so hard today. Bottom sides of your waist still. Lift the ribs to one side and then put them back in. Lift the ribs to the other side, put them back in. 1 more each side. Nice. Now take it to the front, around to the side, into the back and to the other side. Try not to move your hips. Should feel your abs starting to wake up as well, not just your back. Let's go the other way. Good, all done with that. Let's come up into the shoulders now. I'm going to circle them both back for 5. And then circle them forward for 5. Bring your arms out to the side, circle the elbows in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then circle the elbows out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your arms extended, circle the wrists in one direction. And circle the wrists in the other direction. Good, keeping the arms still, we're going to tuck the chin in, pull the chin back to look up. Tuck the chin in to look down, pull the chin in to look up. So we're not poking the chin out, we're gliding it in, lengthening the back of the neck before we lift gaze. One more. And then coming back to the center with the chin pulled in, looking side to side. 2, 3, trying to keep everything nice and still. 5, and then keeping that chin tucked in, ear to the shoulder. Don't let your shoulders move. Here's 3, 4, 5. Getting a little bit more dynamic now, turning to the side. We're going to try and keep our feet in line with our hips. You can have your hands on your hips for this. We're going to step one foot back. It can be straight and then step it in. Keep going with this foot 5 times. Just stepping it back. We're not taking it down into a lunge yet. Switching sides. Let's take it back. 2. Try and keep the belly strong. And we keep the body in line with the leg. 5. Good. Now we're going to lift the knee, stretch it back, tap it down. Lift the leg, lift the knee, tap it down. This is the second one. Lift, down, in. One more. And switching sides. So the knee comes up, stretch it back, tap and lift. Bring it in, tap it down. Lift, stretch, tap, lift, in. There's 2, lift, stretch, tap, lift, in. There's 3, 4, 5. Good stuff. All right, so we should be feeling fairly warm here. We're going to come down onto our knees. I'm going to come to the back of the mat. Okay, so we're at the back of the mat and we're on our knees to begin with. We're going to start by taking one foot forward, hands on the hips, tailbone tucked. Take a breath in. Press your body weight forward as you breathe out. Extend the leg. I'm going to do 5 of these. 2, 3. If your back knee isn't comfortable, you can put a cushion underneath it. Good. Now we're going to keep going with this, but as we extend the leg, we're going to draw the toes towards the nose. So pick it up, push it down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it here. You can stay upright. You don't need to come forward just yet. I want you to energize the ball of the foot. So the toes are pulling back, but the ball of the foot is pushing away as you lift and lower your hip, going side to side. Great, and keeping your hips really level, your belly very strong. You're going to point and flex your foot. Try and get all the way through the ankle until the toes touch down. 4, 5. Now keeping that leg pointed, sit back on your other foot and bring your hands out wherever they're comfortable beside you. Now if that means you need to pop your hands on some blocks, go ahead. We're going to lift the chest up and then curl the ribs in. We're not thinking about up and down. We're just thinking about forward and back. Lift the chest, curl it in. Lift the chest, curl it in. One more time. Lift the chest, curl it in. Now we're going to lift the chest. See if we can walk the hands forward a bit. Good. Take a breath in. Keep your spine exactly as it is. Bend your elbows to come down just a little bit lower. Good. Really nice, team. Now, we're going to extend the arms again. Keep pushing down through the fingertips. Take a breath in. Squeeze that leg straight. Can you lift it? 1, 2. You got this. 3. Try not to round the shoulders. 4, 5. Nice. You're all done. Bring it back. We're going to take the other leg forward now. So up onto the knees, hands on the hips. Bring the hip forward. Make sure they're both facing straight ahead and they don't come out to the side. That's next week. Take a breath in, push the hips forward and back. So next week, we're going to look at sideways, lateral movement, adductors, and also lateral flexion of the spine. All right, and lifting the toes towards your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the top, 5. Energize the ball of the foot, in and out. Little figure 8 that you're drawing with the ball of the foot there. And the hip lifts and lowers. Coming back to the center, we're going to point and flex. So point, touch down, flex, pull back. All the way to the ground. Try and get as much of the foot on the floor as you can. Keeping the hips square. Take it into the point. Sit all the way back on your foot. Keep the foot pointed. Hands out where the spine is straight. Think about the chest lifting, the collarbone spread apart as the armpits squeeze into your ribs. And then you can curl the chin to the chest. Armpits squeeze in as the collarbones get broad. Last night when I was teaching back bends, I called my collarbones my shoulder blades about 55 times. It was really embarrassing. I just couldn't think of the right word. One more time. Oh, actually, I thought I was looking at Rachel Shep, but I was looking at Rachel Cadman, whose bedroom looks quite a lot like yours, Rachel. Very strange. You got the white chest of drawers and the mint wall, and I'm like, oh, that's Rachel Shep's room, but no, it's Rachel Cadman's room. I'm like, why is that shot framed so perfectly? But in Split Splash, she has no head. Now I know. All right, keeping those arms extended. Keeping the arms extended, take a breath in. Bend the elbows, keeping the spine long and straight. See if you can take it a little bit further forward. Okay, so now we're going to try and lift that foot 5 times. You ready? Press, lift 1, 2, keep it pointed, 3, 4, 5. Now, instead of coming down onto your knee, bring this foot in line with your right knee. Take your hands behind you. I'm going to shuffle forward a little bit. So you can either have your hands pointing out to the sides or towards your butt, but try not to turn them around to the back. Cool, so both hands, both hands are on the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and tuck your bum under. Squeeze your bottom to lengthen the front of the hip. Keep your chin tucked in the back of the neck nice and long. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sitting down. Now, if we can get our hips and our ribs and our shoulders in neutral with this front leg, we're going to lift up, just lifting the heel and lifting the butt. Try and keep your body in position and just put weight through your thigh so the heel starts to lift, press down towards the ground. You won't feel this a great deal in your calf, but you might feel this quite a lot through your Achilles. So just hold it here. You can use your hands if you want to sink deeper. Reaching them forward will also make it a little bit more intense. Great stretch for the ankle as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the hands forward. Take this knee back and sit on your feet. Other foot's coming through. Hands either to the side or facing in. Tucking the bottom under with the chin tucked in, rolling the shoulder back. Lifting the hip, making sure both of those hips are still even. And staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sitting back down, lining ourselves up, taking our body weight forward and up just a touch, and then sinking the heel down towards the floor. I always feel this so much better on my right than my left, and I'm sure that's to do with my asymmetries. And sitting down onto the foot. Bring the hands out to the side now. Bring the other leg under, sit down on your butt. And roll down through the spine to lie on the back. I'm going to do a little bit of glute bridge work before I want to start warming up the hamstrings. I want this connection to be a bit warmer. So shoulder blades, roll down, Press your hands down through the ground. Take a breath in, lift your pelvic floor, and breathe out as the hips come up. Straight line from the shoulders through the hips to the knees. Come halfway down as you breathe in. Squeeze that booty as you breathe out. And I want you to feel it here. The low back is long and straight. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If we want to have nice pointy toes, hold at the top, we've got to be able to really contract our calf muscles. So lift one heel, press through the front of the ankle, and then press it down. Lift the heel, press through the front of the ankle, and then down. Push, control, push, control, push, control. We're going to do one more single, and then we're going to do 5 doubles. Push through both ankles, keep the bottom up. If you need to support with your hands, you can. 3, 4, hold. I'm going to take the hips halfway down, stay on your point, and squeeze the butt up. We've got 5 of these. 4. Looking good, guys. Wide collarbones. 3, 2, 1. Bring it down onto the ground. We're going to press the heels down onto the floor. I'm just going to bring you so you're a little bit more visible to me now. Great. We're going to extend that right leg out long and straight. Nice pointed toes. Good. Scoot. We're going to start with an emblepe today. So we're only going to come up to where the leg is in line with the other thigh. Draw the knee in towards the chest. Take the toe down in line with the other heel. Scoop it out. Just in line. Bring it in. Now you can go a little bit higher. Up, keeping the hips steady, keeping the knee straight. 2 more at that height. Good. Now you can go a little bit higher. Up a little higher. 1. And again. Have you got a little bit more to give? Keeping the hips steady and the belly strong. Up, in, out, up, in. Keeping the toe pointed. Good. We're going to reverse that now. Bring the knee in towards the chest. I want you to squeeze the front of the thigh, really activate the quad so the back of the knee yawns open. Lower it down, bring it in, extend and squeeze, lower, bring it in, extend and squeeze, lower. Let's go. Bring it as close to your chest as you can. Really squeeze the thigh to get the back of the knee to yawn open. Careful your bottom doesn't lift off the floor. You've got to really keep that butt down. I'm going to do one more. Great. All right. So now we're going to kick the foot up with a pointed toe, flex the foot and control it down. Up with a point, down with a flex. Should feel a little bit like swimming. 2, 1. Bring that pointed toe up, catch it with your hands. We're going to roll the shoulders and the hips down into the floor. Take a breath in, lift your pelvic floor, and press the leg through the arms for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I want you to relax. Keep squeezing the front of the thigh to keep the back of the knee yawning open. We've got 2 things going on here. Reciprocal inhibition, so squeezing the front of the thigh to lengthen the hamstring, but we're working on P and F stretching. So again, inhale to contract your pelvic floor. Hold your breath as you push the leg through the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax. And see if that leg will come in a little bit closer to you. Now, I only want you to be at a 7 out of 10, nowhere higher than that, yeah? 7 out of 10 is like our peak stretching zone. And for recovery and restorative stretching, you can stay as low as a 5 or 6, and it's totally acceptable. So you can take that other leg out. Gosh, in yin, we don't go higher than a 3. Good. Now see if you can keep your leg exactly where it is and take your hands away. We're going to go back to the exercise we did before with the flex foot going down and the pointed toe coming up. Flex foot coming down, pointed toe coming up. 2 more like this. Last one. I want you to bring it up as high as you can. Squeeze the knee. So I want you to wring everything out of that leg so it's completely dry and straight. Flex the foot, point the toes towards your face, and then push back for 10, 9, 8 little pulses. Other toe is pointed. 5, 4, 3. Energize that heel. Now catch the leg. Keep both hips evenly on the ground. Inhale as you push the leg through the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, relax. Bring it in a little closer. And obviously, if you can't reach your leg, use a strap, yeah? Go again. Breathe in, hold, and push the leg through the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Bring it in closer. Nice. And we're just going to stay here for 10 seconds. Bottom foot is pointed. This one's really flexed and straight. And again, release it with the hands. Try and keep it perfectly still. Keep it flexed as you lower it down to the ground. Bend it in and press it down. So the other toe is pointed. We're going to lift it in line with the thigh. Bend the knee, pull it in towards us, and take it down to the ground. So nice and low, just practicing the action. Good. Take it a little higher now. Looking good, guys. Those pointy toes. Gorgeous. Down. A little bit higher. And you know you've got 2 more. So keeping the hips square and the belly flat, giving it some welly. Good. Now from here we reverse it. Bring it in, squeeze the thigh to extend the back of the knee and bring it down. Do you ever notice that you have a better leg line on one side than the other? I have a much nicer leg line on my left than my right. I don't know how that happened. Really squeeze and extend on our développé. And then this one. Good. So we're going to come up with a point and down with a flex. Up with a point, down with a flex. Really energize the ankle. And at the top, we grab it. Wherever you can, it doesn't matter where that is because you're going to use your muscles to keep the legs straight. We're just going to lift that pelvic floor as we breathe in, hold, and press down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale and relax. See if that leg will come a little closer. Go again. Inhale, hold, push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax. Bring it in a little closer. Good stuff. All right. Let's extend the bottom leg now. Keep that leg there with the hand, without your hands. Words. We're going to go back to the first exercise. Heel comes down, pointed toe comes up. Heel comes down, keeping it really energized, really strong. Keeping the other toe on the floor really pointed. Last one. Now at the top, flex the foot, turn the foot towards you, pulse for 10, 9, 8, no hands, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, bring it to the ground, extend it out long and straight. Give your legs a little stretch. Take a long stretch here. We're going to roll onto the side now. I'm going to shuffle down the mat a little bit so I'm not kicking the stage. The bottom arm is going to be your pillow because we're going to start by stretching the quads. You see, you can't see my feet because they're out in line with my knees, and my knees are in line with my hips. Try and get those hips really stacked. Your top foot is going to shift back in line with your top hip, as is your top knee. So none of this and none of this. We're in a nice straight line. Your top hand is going to reach back and take a hold of that foot. We're going to keep the tailbone tucking under as we lengthen the knee away. Good. Now I want you to push your foot into your hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now relax and see if your foot will come closer to your butt, and keeping your tailbone tucked, if that hip will shift a little further back. Sorry, if that knee will shift a little further back. The hip stays pushing forward. Let's try that again. Pushing the foot into the hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Good. See if your foot will come to your bum. See if the knee will come back with the tailbone tucked and the pubic bone drawing up into the rib cage. You're just going to hold it here. Nice. Bring the knee down. Starting with our first rotational exercise for today, bring your bottom arm out in line with your shoulder and place your top hand on top of that hand. So your top hand needs to maintain contact with the bottom arm, with your body actually, until we get all the way over. So what's going to happen? You trace your fingertips up the inside of the arm. Rest your head on the ground as your chin comes to your collarbone. Open the collarbones up, and once your elbow gets to the floor, extend the other arm out fully. Now bend the elbow, place the hand on your chest or just below your collarbones, slide it all the way back to where you started. You can even go a little further. Reach, slide back. You've got 5 of these. And once you open out, let your head follow the movement, hold it for a moment. And come back in, all the way across. That's 2. This one can feel really lovely with a cushion under your head so that your neck can stay in neutral. It's a little bit nicer for the neck. Unless you're very comfortable with a long neck and your head on the floor. That was 3, we've got 2 more. 2. Last one, and 1. Hold it here on this last one. See if you can get both of your shoulders on the ground. What do you need to change to make that happen? See if you can bring your knees up a little bit higher towards your elbow. You might need to shift your heels further than your butt to make that happen. And now we're focusing on the twist through the ribs, taking away the twist through the pelvis. See if you can hold this here with really long, open, straight arms. Looking all the way back over the opposite shoulder. Chin tucking in. The hand that is closest to your knees is now going to take a hold of the top knee. Nothing else is going to move. Hold on to that top knee. Start to slowly slide the bottom leg away from underneath it, keeping it long and straight. Keep holding your top knee. Can you apply a little bit of load to that top knee to now bring that leg down onto the floor? Now we've got the twist through the lower part of the spine as well. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The first thing we're going to do is release the hand. The next thing we're going to do is bring the bottom knee back up. Then we're going to turn the head towards the ceiling and lift the knees towards the ceiling. All right, to do this in the other direction, I need to flip over. You can also flip over if you want to stay facing the camera, but you've done it once. It's not compulsory. You don't have to. Okie doke. So we're setting up this 90-90 on the other side. We're going to take a hold of the top foot, make sure it's in the center of the butt cheek, and the knee is tracking with the hip. We start straight away, tailbone tucking, push the foot into the hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it. See if your heel will touch your bottom, keeping the tailbone tucking under, see if that knee will slide further back, keeping it parallel. Let's try that again. Breathing in, hold your pelvic floor, hold your breath, push into the hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Squeeze that heel up to your butt. Slide the knee further back. Keep pulling the hip up into the ribs. Just enjoy that stretch for the front of the quad. Bringing those legs together now. The arms will come out like the letter T. Top hand is going to start on top of the bottom hand. I'll shuffle just a little. I'm going to slide the arm up all the way and open. We should have a fairly good handle on our archer stretch. Oh, so good. Take that all the way away, hand on the chest, slide it across, reach even further. So we've got 5 of these. You're probably 1 ahead of me, so I'll just do 4. And we're going to hold the archer stretch on our 5th one. Keep it open, keep looking over the shoulder. See if your knees, so both shoulders on the floor, can we bring the knees higher towards the elbows? Can we take them a little further out so that the feet are on the ground as well? Good. Noticing the twist through the ribs. Just breathing here. Now you can use your top hand to give some weight to the top knee. And the bottom leg is going to reach back behind you without your back arching and extend. See if that top knee can come down to the ground. Oh, so strong. All right, looking up at the ceiling, bring the bottom knee back, stack both knees, bring the legs up, pop the feet down. You can hug the knees into the chest, tuck the chin to your chest, and rock up to sit. I'll move you back to where you were now. Just about there, looks good to me. Okie doke, so it's time to come into some downward dogs. We're going to come onto all fours. I'm just going to move this into position so that when I want it, it's handy. Should be feeling a little bit warmer and more open here now. Find a long spine so your arms belong to your back. We're going to broaden the collarbones, hug the armpits into the ribs, tuck the toes, take a breath in. As you lift to downward dog, keep the knees bent, look back between the toes. Now actively push through the arms, actively push the, spiral the inner thighs through and back. So your feet stay parallel, but the inner thighs spiral back. We're going to really push through the arms. You should feel your ears on your arms. With no spaces, no gaps. Keep breathing here. Keeping the knees soft, take all the weight into your right hand. I want you to look at your right ankle. Your left hand is going to reach back to go to the, I'll show you this on the other side first, to go to the outside of your right ankle. So you're in your downward dog. You're looking back at that foot. Your hand reaches across to the outside of the ankle and you look up at the ceiling. Cool. Try and keep the hips square as you rotate here. Looking nice, guys. Really good. Hold that for another 3 breaths. Now, placing the hand back where it started, we're going to go the other way. So looking back at your left ankle, your right hand is going to come across, and you're going to look through up at the ceiling, trying to keep your hips equally shifting back. I know this is a lot for your hands, and I'm going to ask you for one more thing. Really pushing through both hands now, looking back at your toes, and take a walk. And your hamstrings should feel pretty good. So come up onto your tiptoes, take a breath in. I want you to think of the pinky toe sides of your heels having weights attached to them. And your legs start to lengthen and the outside edges of your heels start to reach down towards the mat. Careful that you don't drop into the shoulders or arch your back. We want the back long and straight, the ribs contained, and the outer edges of those heels coming to ground. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the heels up, bend the knees, lower the hips towards the heels, stack your shoulders over your wrists, and then finally bring your knees to the floor. How are we feeling? Good? How'd you go, towels, with all that down dog and weight on your hands? So? Yeah, it'll get better after next week. Okie doke. So now that we're on all fours, we're going to take a gentle inhale, arch, wrap the shoulders back. Gentle exhale, curl, lift the heart through the shoulder blades. Inhale, arch, try and draw the chin in as you open and expand. Exhale, curl, chin tucks in before the crown of the head lowers down. So with every movement, the chin draws in towards the throat. It doesn't poke forward. Good. And I'm talking about this a lot because I injured my neck last week, and it's because I have a patterning problem where I'm a chin poker and I'm doing this stuff with my spine. So I'm going to practice drawing my chin back towards my throat. After your next curl, find a long, straight, neutral back. Bring your right hand to the back of the head. Exhale as you push down through your left hand. Try and keep your hips stacked. And inhale as you take your right elbow up towards the ceiling. Good. Exhale, curl it across to the left elbow and take your gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale the right elbow up to the ceiling. Can you look up as the arm moves? Exhale, take the right elbow down and across to the left elbow or even the wrist. and look back over the left shoulder. So I'm going to do 3 more of these. Inhale, opening up to the side. Exhale, twisting down. I'm just checking on you. Careful not to drop your body. I want you to rotate through the waist, open up through the chest, but try and keep your body in the same position. Should have 1 more. Chin tucking in as you look over the shoulder. We're going to open all the way up and then come back to horizontal and then take that hand down onto the ground. Let's do the other side. So left hand comes out, hand to the base, fingertips to the base of the skull so that you're in a straight line from your shoulder to your elbow. We inhale, pick it all the way up to the ceiling. Try and keep your hips nice and steady. And then exhale, twist it across to the right elbow or wrist, looking up at the ceiling. Inhale through neutral, chin drawing in. We open and expand. Exhale, I'm so tight on this side. Opening up. Closing across. Good, looking good, guys. Opening up. Closing across. Go for 1 more. Just checking the time. Good, 20 minutes. Now, once we're back onto the hands and knees, we're going to give our right shoulder a stretch. So inhale that right arm out to the side. Cross it underneath you until your shoulder is all the way on the ground. Then lengthen your ear away, tuck your chin in and rest that head down. Now you can extend your left arm out in line with your shoulder to start with today. Just make sure your hips are still over your knees and you've got a little bit of tone in the tummy. If this is enough for you, if this is enough rotation, you can stay here. Otherwise, you can now take your right shoulder through a little bit further and start to lift both the left arm and the gaze up to the ceiling. So you're stacking over the right shoulder and you're opening up towards the sky. Chin tucking in. I just want you to keep an active arm stretching up today. We're not going to offload and dump into a bind or a wrap. Keep rolling your shoulder blade across your back. That'll keep you open through the collarbones without allowing that shoulder to roll in and down. Keep that shoulder rolling back. Great, bring it back down onto the floor. Slide it back under your shoulder and very slowly make it all the way up. Good, other side. Left arm comes out to the side. We're going to bend the elbow as that shoulder comes down to the floor. Tuck the chin in so we lengthen the neck, place the ear down. And then the other arm can come out. Long and straight to start. Nice, looking very twisty today, lovers. You can see if that bottom arm can come a little further through. And then looking up at the ceiling, can we take that other arm all the way up? Rotating the thumb back will help you rotate the shoulder back. Cool. So twisting that thumb back. And if it's too much, bring your hand back down. It's a lot of load. You've got to really push the bottom shoulders through the floor, keeping the chin tucked as the head is taking weight. So the back of the neck is long and straight. Great work. And bring that hand back down. Press through. Once you find neutral, take a breath in. Bring your big toes to touch. Sink your hips back onto your heels. Tuck your chin. Rest your forehead on the ground. You can bring your knees a little closer if that's accessible to you. And then bring the hands back so that they rest beside the feet. Be really mindful that your chin should be creating a double chin here, tucking in as much as you can in this closed knee child's pose. Chin to chest, rolling up through the spine. Okie doke, we're going to come back into that downward facing dog now. Time to get serious about these hips and twists. So back into our downward dog. Hopefully feeling very comfortable here, long sides of the waist, heels reaching for the floor, pushing through the hands, no gaps between the arms and the ears. We're going to take the right leg up 5 times. Try and keep your hips square. Tap it down. 2, 3. You keep going. 4, 5. And anyone who was in my back bends class last night knows what's coming next. Hold it up. We're going to kick the opposite butt cheek 5 times. 2. You can let your hip open now. 3, 4. Hold that leg bent on 5. Try and lift the knee higher to the ceiling. And try and look out under your right armpit, up towards the ceiling. You might need to come up onto the right fingertips for this and really push down through the left hand, and that's cool. You can do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and sweep that right foot through the hands at the top of the mat. Goodbye for a second. So we're in a long stretch here. Fingertips are at the sides of the legs. We're in a long line from the heel to the top of the head. I want you to try and squeeze the arm and the right knee in towards each other. Where's that knee in line with the ankle? Directly. All directly in line. So the arm and the leg are squeezing into each other. Your collarbones are open. Your ribs are drawing in towards your back. Your left heel is really active and strong. Your chin is drawing in, the spine is long and straight. Keep pushing the arm and the leg into each other for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Try and stay strong in the legs. Bring the hands onto your knee. Press down to lift your chest. Still squaring the hips, yeah? Hope so. We're going to do a little bit of bend and extend. Tuck your tailbone under, bend the knee as you inhale. Try and keep that tuck as you push the heel away and exhale. Bend the knee, curl, breathe in. Push away as you breathe out. All right, keep it long and straight. Bring the arms up by your ears as you breathe in. We're going to take the right arm forward and the left arm back. Keep the heel lifted as you breathe out. So I want you to have a straight line from fingertip to fingertip. Good. Rotate to the front, arms by the ears. Breathe in. Can we do that the other way now? Left arm forward, right arm back, straight line fingertip to fingertip. Keep your pelvis square, keep that back leg straight. Inhale it up. Exhale it open. Inhale it up. Exhale it open. You got 3 more of these. I'm just putting this in position for me. Last round. So we're going to inhale it up. Your left hand is going to come down to the floor. Your right arm is going to circle back, and then fingertips will point up to the ceiling. So chin is tucking in. Try and stack shoulder over shoulder. Try and bring your weight forward rather than letting it drop back. And be mindful that this knee isn't rolling open. Keep it in line with your hip. Good. Now I'm going to circle that arm back, down and around. 1. We've got 5 of these. 2. My right thigh is on fire. 2 more. Hold it up. Let's go the other way. 1, 2, 3 to go. 3, we're nearly there. 4, I promise. 5, bring the hand to the floor, bring the knee to the floor. Thank God. Now draw the toes to your nose, lift the chest, and bring your chest down. Now I want you to see if that heel can move a little further forward, so the back hip can move a little further forward. Great. Lifting the chest up, planting that foot down. Now when we plant that foot down, your hips travel with you. Making sure that knee is just behind the ankle. Lengthen those arms, both of them, up to the ceiling. We're going to circle them back, open the chest, just 3 times. 2. Now I want you to keep the chest back in this position, but bring the arms up. Take your left hand across onto your right knee as you twist. Lengthen that right arm back. Look over your shoulder. Can your right arm, with the palm still facing forward, tap your left leg? So I want you to keep the shoulder back and the palm facing forward. Good, you can push against your left leg to come deeper into this. You can start to squeeze your left butt cheek to push it towards your right heel. Hold this for 5. Squeeze your butt. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those hands up. Bring them to the inside of your right foot. We're going to keep the ball of the foot down, but bring the knee out to the side. Tuck the left toes under. Lift, push the heel away. We've got forward and back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the back stroke, see if one elbow can come to the bottom. I always start with the outside elbow. Mine won't go today. My hip's too tight. Staying down here for a count of 10. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the knee to the floor. Come up onto the hands. We're going to work that foot across to the opposite side. So to the left side of the mat. Curl the toes towards the nose. Turn the knee out. We're looking for 90 degrees. I accept that I won't find it today. And then coming down slowly into our half pigeon. Hanging out here. Slowly coming up through the spine. You're going to sit onto that hip and turn so the foot touches the inner thigh. I'm just spinning around so I can see you. So it's the right thigh on the left foot. Now, when we come into this side bend today, I'd really like you to think about opposing energy through the arms. So take the left arm across your right thigh and remember that that shoulder spirals back and around the whole time. We're going to bend the right arm, sweep it back, left foot is flexed. So your left arm is pushing away as the right arm is extending with the fingertips, palm face down over your ear. Let's do that 3 times. Coming up. Extend across. Both arms actively reach in opposite directions. Good, one more time. Coming across, chin tucking in, back of the neck long. See if you can just gently rotate your chest and your gaze towards the ceiling. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending the elbow to sit up, rotating towards the left leg. Chest up and shoulders back, breathe in. Bend the elbows to fold with a straight back as you breathe out. And whatever your body can give you here is great. Cool, you can walk your hips further away to get a bit more. Keep the foot flexed, walk the hands a little further forward. Try and keep the elbow creases pointing up to the ceiling. Don't let the elbow points flare out to the side. Lift the chest as you breathe in. Bend the elbows to fold as you breathe out. And we're just going to stay here today. Maybe your breathing sinks you in a bit deeper. Rolling up. This foot is going on a little adventure. We're going to take it back in line with the hip. Cool. So your opposite hand, your left hand, is going to take a hold of your right ankle. Remember that that shoulder wraps down and back. Your right elbow is going to come out to the side, bend. So we're coming back into this lateral stretch. Keep your chin towards your armpit as you reach over your ear. And if you just curl that arm a little bit and tickle, maybe you can find your toe. Maybe you can't, that's fine. But you're holding your ankle, you're leaning away from it, and you're looking to find your left toes. Let me see you. Oh yeah, amazing guys. You know, you can pull on that you can pull on that right ankle with your left hand to tip over a little bit more. Just keep pushing your bum towards the floor. Looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly releasing. Nice. So we're going to bring that left foot in, nothing fancy. Roll onto the knees and shift it back into down dog to do all of this gorgeously fun stuff on the other side. Did anyone else get like the outside of their hip on fire towards the end of that? Just the burner nation, clearly need it. So in our lovely, comfortable downward dog, hollow belly, outer edges of the heels towards the floor. The left leg's going to lift 5 times to begin. So here's 1, 2, 3. We hold it up on 5, 4. Keep it there. Bend it across to the opposite hip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it back there. Knee is reaching as high as you can. Maybe you can look out up at the ceiling under your left armpit and come onto your left fingertips for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep it through the hands at the top of the mat. All right, so now it's left arm and your left leg squeezing in towards each other. Chin is in, body is long and straight. We squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7. Come on, get that head up. It's part of your spine. Don't let your head drop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the legs strong. Bring the hands onto the thigh. Ribs pull in as we rise. Hands onto the hips. We're going to tuck the tailbone under, pull the pubic bone up on an inhale. Squeeze the underbutt to straighten the leg on the exhale. Tuck on the breath in. Squeeze on the breath out. 3. Keep the hips square. 2. Hold it there. Arms come up, we circle back. Oh, we didn't do this on this side, other side, did we? Hold it here. We're going to bring this arm down onto the floor. Now the left arm is going to circle down, come all the way up and around, so there's a straight line. We're stacking over the right arm, but we're not dumping into it. Cool, we're staying really strong through the pelvis, so that right hip is lifted in line with the left, and the left knee is in line with the left hip. Open here, chin tucking in, back of the head pushing back. Let's circle it in one direction 5 times. 2, 3. And then the other direction 5 times. 2, 1. Good news, it can come down onto the ground now. Is that what I did? And then we brought the knee down? Yes, it is. We're going to bring both arms up. Oh, we pushed back first, didn't we? Took a little moment here. Breath in, arch the back. Breath out, fold in. And see if you can sneak that heel a little bit further forward. Right, so planting back into that. Your hips come with you. Arms come up into the air. Great, let's circle it back 3 times. And on the 3rd time, we're going to keep the chest open. Keep the chest open, bring the arms up, leaning back. Take the right hand across to the left knee. Push back, look over your shoulder. See if you can keep the palm open, the collarbones open, as the left hand reaches for the right leg. Don't worry if you don't get there. Just pushing and leaning back is giving you a really strong twist. Keep your pelvic floor lifted. Keep a little bit of energy in that right butt cheek. Nice work. Bringing the arms up slow now. And then down to the inside of the foot. We're going to turn the foot out to 45 degrees. Tuck the back toes under. Energize the heel forwards and backs. 2. A very squeaky mat. 4. On the back, keep the knee wide to the side. Come down onto the elbows. Try and keep your chin pulling in. Don't let your head drop forward. We're working today specifically on creating space through the neck. Take the back knee down. Come up onto the hands, slide them back. We're going to walk that foot across to the right side of the mat. Curl the toes towards the nose. Energize the ball of the foot as the hip moves across to the left side of the mat. The knee, sorry, moves across to the left. We're nice and even. We come down into our pigeon. And we're going to stay nice and still for 10 seconds. Nice. Coming up onto the fingertips, coming up through the spine, keeping the chin tucked in, sitting over onto that left hip, and coming to sit. I'm going to move over this way a little bit. With your left foot into your right thigh this time. So nice flex foot, heavy through the hips, stacked through the ribs, shoulders, and head. So this time your bottom arm is your right arm, and it's going to really reach across to the bottom as your left elbow bends. We spin to the bent leg side. So we turn to the left, extend the left arm over the head, chin tucking in, and both arms reaching away from each other. Really energize the hands. Good, bend the elbow, come back up. Let's go again. 3, bend the elbow, come back up. 2, and up. And 1. Try and extend the arms fully, chin tucking in, rotating gently towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending the elbow to sit back up. Turning towards the straight leg. Fingertips on the floor with a straight back. Inhale, arch. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Good, you guys look amazing. Try and keep the shoulders back, away from the ears, the neck long, chin drawing in rather than the crown of the head dropping down. So we want that chin drawing in and energy out through the crown rather than chin drawing in and the crown of the head dropping down. You can start to move in with your breath now. Slowly coming up, left foot's going on its adventure this time. Over to the side. You're going to hold on with the right hand, turn to the left, your left elbow bends as you tip over towards your right leg. If you're super duper lucky, maybe you'll find your right foot. If you aim your shoulder down to the inside of your knee, it's a good indication that you're going to get a bit closer. Can my sleeve get it? Oh, I think my sleeve's going to touch my leg. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming up. Good work. All right, instead of going back into downward dog, because we're just out of time. So this is our last stretch. This is our full nerve stretch today that we're coming into to finish off with. Legs are extended, feet start flexed. Take the flesh out from under your hips, and if you want to do this stretch on a block, it can really help. We're going to bring the hands forward, start with the chest lifted, and then one vertebrae at a time from the pelvis, we're going to curl ourselves forward. So sweeping the belly in, curling the low back. Sweeping the ribs in, curling the mid back, and lengthen it forward over the legs from here, from here, from here. So it's vertebrae by vertebrae from the tailbone that we're tipping forward. And we want to get into a nerve stretch here. So think about the shoulder blades really wide. Think about the chin drawing in towards the throat. And we do need to turn the crown of the head down towards the legs at the very end. So one vertebrae at a time. You can repeat this. And you'll feel all the nerves through the backs of the legs and hopefully through your back. If there's any tightness in your low back, this should give you a really amazing nerve stretch. And slowly, slowly coming up. We're just going to cross the legs one direction. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. I want you to draw your ribs forward. Keep the chin tucked in. Squeeze and lift the arms as far as you can. Then curl the crown down to extend those arms over your head. But don't let the shoulders roll towards your ears. Keep pulling them back. Good. Slowly come up. I'm going to do that one more time and then I'll let you go. Cross the legs the other way. Chin tucking in as you extend the arms back as far as they can. Commit to keeping the shoulders over the ears as you pull your weight forward. Squeezing the shoulders down and back as you lengthen the arms up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're coming up nice and slow. Letting the arms go. Giving them a good shake. Good work, guys. I hope you feel like really nice and mobile and can move freely through the rest of your day. And next week, like I said, we're doing a lot of lateral movement. So this week was all parallel through the legs, rotating through the spine. So next week will be a lot of side to side and lateral flexion. We did a little bit of lateral flexion today, but we'll do a lot more next week.